listeners, you're tuning in to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie and with Corey.
Hello, everybody. Nice to see you all here.
If you're listening to the show for the first time, let me explain a little bit about it. We broadcast every Tuesday from 7 to 8 o'clock Pacific time. And we actually broadcast on 101.7 FM across the Fraser Valley from the unceded territory of the Stolo Nation. And Unlocking Your Truth is a talk show about metaphysics and spirituality. So every week we have a different topic that we discuss under that general umbrella. We live stream to Facebook and YouTube every week as well. And the show comes out live on the radio and also on a podcast. And you can access it on most podcasting platforms as well as my website, drlesliephillips.com.
And you can get all the old shows there as well.
You can, and there's at the point of recording this show, there's over 250 shows.
Yeah, 250.
Because we've been doing this for 3 years. We've been doing the show for over 3 years. I think.
No, longer than 3 years.
5. I guess it's 5 if we've got 250 shows.
More or less, the higher math tells me that, yes, that would be 5.
Yeah.
I look blurry tonight on YouTube.
Oh, dear.
It's got that soft image.
Oh,
Maybe it's that app that you use to make me look younger.
Yeah, it's going through the Zoom face softening.
Yeah.
So I suppose we should talk about the show topic.
Okay.
And tonight it's going to be the aura. We're going to talk about the aura. We're going to talk about the aura, what it is, and why would we be talking about the aura on a show that focuses very much on intuition and psychic abilities. So, and I'm also just following up, we started a theme a few months ago where we were doing a few shows to cover some of the topics in my new book, which just came out, called Intuition and Chakras. And there's a whole chapter about the aura in that book. So that's what I thought we'd do. So let's start talking about the aura. So what is it? It is an electromagnetic energy field that surrounds your physical body. It's kind of like, you can think of it like an energy bubble that defines your personal space. And you can also think of that energy bubble as your personal creative universe, meaning that everything that is on the inside of the perimeter of that bubble is yours, and everything on the other side of it is somebody or something else. It is multidimensional in nature, so it's not just three-dimensional like your physical body. And it's been called the fingerprint of God. Why is it being called the fingerprint of God? Because it's like your fingerprint. Everyone has a unique fingerprint. Nobody has the same set of fingerprints. Your energy field, your aura, is just like that because it contains all of the information about you. It can give us information about you in terms of on a physical level, a mental level, an emotional level, and a spiritual level. So when we're talking about psychic development and intuition development, being able to read the aura is a very powerful tool. Why? Because it can help you very quickly get to the core of any matter that anybody might be asking about. Because whatever is going on in somebody's life, it's going to show up in their energy field. If they have you name it. If they have concerns about their survival, their abundance levels, their career, that will show up on the layer of their energy field that relates to physical reality and physical survival. So it's a really great tool to have in your energy practice to be able to read the aura, because it helps you consult with anyone that comes to you about anything in their life, really. So when I first started out doing this work, which is over 20 years ago now, I used to read my own aura every single day. Why? Because it helped me to really get to know myself. It was part of my spiritual practice, so that I could understand truly who I was and what was my energy and what within my energy did I want to change. And it enabled me to change it. And so I recommend that being something really for anyone who's interested in this, either being a reader or a healer, to be able to tune into the energy field is very powerful and a very useful thing to be able to do. So let's talk a little bit more about the characteristics of the aura. It's your unique energy signature as you are right here, right now. So everything that's going on with you right now is in that electromagnetic energy field. To someone who's observing the aura using their clairvoyance, it may appear like kind of like clouds of colors that are moving, that are shifting, that are changing. And you'd also be able to see, if you were able to see the aura, you'd be able to see that it actually emanates from the chakras. What are the chakras? They are energy centers situated throughout your energy system that are conduits and channels for energy transference. And you get all of your spiritual information through your chakras. And you have 7 major chakras that relate to major aspects of you and major aspects of your life. Each chakra emanates its own energy field. And the energy fields of each of the chakras interpenetrates the others. So it sounds like one big whole mess of everything intermingling. But if you hone your ability to read clairvoyantly, then you can separate out those different layers and observe them and find things out about what is going on within them. All right. And so, like we said, the energy field is completely unique to you. Your energy field is completely unique to you. It contains everything about you. It emanates from your chakras, and it can be seen using clairvoyant vision. Now, sometimes people will go and have an aura reading, and then they'll believe for the rest of their lives that their aura is in the way that it was said at that reading. But in truth, it is constantly in flux. It is constantly changing. As you are having different life experiences, your aura is shifting. It's like your multidimensional coat of many colors that is always, always changing. And my favorite analogy, really, or metaphor for giving you an idea of what the auric field is like, is if you ever watch nature shows, if you've ever looked at these things called cuttlefish, they're a bit like squid. They live in the ocean. And if you watch these things, their skin is highly pigmented in a really complex way. And so these colors change constantly on the surface of their skin. And as they go through different life experiences, the colors change. So there'll be a different energy configuration if they see a predator and they're warning off a predator, or if they want to attract a mate, or if they're expressing a particular mood that they're in, or they want to sort of be in camouflage and blend in with their surroundings. These patterns, these pigmented patterns on the surface of their skin are shifting and changing all the time. And I think of the aura a little bit like that, because your aura changes like that as you go through your life experiences. Depending on what mood you're expressing, parts of your aura will reflect the mood, and so on. Looks like there's a question.
Yeah, we actually have a couple of questions. I have to see if I was off mute first. Shannon says, hi guys, do you have a simple step-by-step to read your own or someone else's aura? And she also says, I'm not clairvoyant yet.
Yeah. Okay. If you Google how to read an aura, you'll get all sorts of blog articles, 10 steps to read your aura, right? But, you know, they're that's very surface level. So do I have a simple, I can teach you how to read an aura. I can teach you how to activate your clairvoyance. It's not something that I could spout off a list of 5 or 10 things right now, and then you'd go away from this, listening to this broadcast and be able to do it. So, you know, here's some of the things that I would recommend. One is have a regular meditation practice where you turn within, where you tune out all of the distractions so you can start to turn within and access your intuitive abilities, which are internal to you. Switch off your monkey mind, calm your emotional levels, let go of your expectations, let go of effort, bypass your intellectual mind, let go of the ego. So part of developing your psychic abilities is to learn the difference between you, the spiritual being, and the physical body. Because if you try to do it through the physical body, it won't happen. So there's lots of people who, if you Google blog articles, how to read an aura, they'll tell you to stare with your physical eyes and have a soft focus in your physical eyes. And, you know, eventually you'll be able to see colors around somebody. Well, your clairvoyant vision doesn't happen through your physical eyes. It happens through your third eye, which is in the center of your 6th chakra. And so when I'm training people to use their clairvoyance, we start with the eyes closed because we want to tune out the physical distractions. You know, and so first of all, to read an aura, you'd need to develop your clairvoyance. And then when you develop your clairvoyance, then there are different reading frameworks that we can use to help attune to the different layers of the energy field. And so my step-by-step guide is, first, I recommend people do that first part that I was talking about. And my Unlock Your Intuition course really helps with that. And then after that, then we can start learning to use some reading frameworks to start really getting into the clairvoyant reading. Was there a second question, Corey? You're on mute.
Yes, there was. Let me get it for you. Oh no, she was just saying that she's not clairvoyant yet.
Okay.
Just a comment.
Okay. Yeah. But I don't want what I said to put you off, because the psychic abilities are how we communicate as spirit, and we're all spirit. You know, our physical senses are how we interact with the physical world. Our psychic senses are how we interact with the non-physical world. And so when we are outside of the body, we all have these abilities. Our struggle when we're in a human body is how to do it while we're in the human body. And that really involves really understanding the difference between body and spirit. All right, so let's go back a little bit to talking about the aura. And everybody, please do, you know, send in your questions to Corey about the aura. So remember I said that there's many layers to the auric field, and each one emanates from one of the chakras. So each of the chakras relates to a different aspect of you and your life. So for example, your first chakra relates to physical reality, survival in a physical body in the physical world. And so the energy field emanating from the first chakra is going to give information that relates to that. The second chakra relates to the emotions and sexuality and clairsentience. And so the energy that's emanating from that chakra, the energy field that emanates from that energy center, is going to relate to that, to the emotional levels, to you know, relationship types of things, and so on as we go through the chakra system. So for example, the fifth chakra relates to communication. So the energy field that's emanating from that's going to be all to do with communication. So listeners, this evening we're talking about the aura, and we're going to take a break and we'll continue our discussion shortly.
Yes, we're going to discuss it very shortly. Okay, let's go back.
Welcome back, listeners. You're tuning in to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie and Corey.
That's me, even though I don't say much.
Tonight's show is all about the aura. And we've been talking about the human aura, the human electromagnetic energy field that we all have. It surrounds us like an energy bubble. And we can think of it as being our own personal private universe. Everything on the inside is us, and everything on the other side is something else. And we were saying that this energy field is multidimensional and that it emanates from the chakra system. And altogether, it relates to everything about you and all the different aspects of your life. And the other analogy for the aura is it's a bit like, it's also like the window to your soul, right? You can think of it as, you can also think of it like a reality creation filter. And let me explain what I mean by those two things. So it's a window in this sense. Everyone that looks at you is looking at you through their energy field and through your energy field. Everyone that you look at, you're looking at through your energy field and through their energy field. So the clearer an energy field, the clearer the perspective you will get on your interactions with others. But if you have a load of baggage floating around in your energy field, then your perception of reality is going to be impinged upon by that garbage collection. So the more you heal yourself, the more you clear your energy field, the clearer you can see. And the more easily you'll be able to read yourself and other people, because there will be less interference. And why do I say it's like a reality creation device? Because you create your reality through your energy. And so if your energy is clean and clear and high, then you're going to be sending out a clear signal to the universe about who you are and what you want, and you'll be getting that reflected back at you. But again, if it's full of detritus, then the signal's not so clear, and you're going to end up with things being reflected back at you that are more of the same. So long as the energy in your energy field is moving, there's health, right? If the energy field is bright and clear, then that's an indicator, and it's moving, then that's an indicator that there's health on a physical level, on an emotional level, on a mental level, on a spiritual level, depending on what layer we're looking at. It indicates health and well-being. If the energy is dark and cloudy, then that could indicate that there are some lower vibrations present. It could indicate that there are some things going on that might be slowing down or interfering with the energy flow. And so here are some of the things that are not really good for your health and not really, don't really show up in a positive way in your energy field. If you're afraid, your energy is stuck and not moving, right? If you're stuck in the past, then your energy field is not really relevant to the present moment, for example. And all of those lower vibration emotions can also have an impact on your energy field. You know, whether if you're feeling hate towards somebody or guilt or shame, those vibrations are all making up part of your energy field. And so, and if those lower vibrations are stored in your energy field for a long time, then they can manifest and lead to a physical problem at the end of the day. So illness happens when the energy is not running smoothly, and health occurs where the energy is running smoothly. All right, so what else can we tell you about the aura? Are there any questions, Corey, from the listeners?
No, right now there is a, Dawn did make a comment, subtle body repair rituals work well, she says.
Subtle body repair rituals work well. Okay, I'm not sure exactly what you're meaning by that, but you know, yes, the aura is electromagnetic energy. And as well as reading the aura, we can manipulate that energy in the aura. And so if we observe that there's something that we'd like to change within our own aura, or somebody comes to us with, you know, asking for a healing, then it's exactly right. We can make shifts and changes in the energy field.
It seems that when you look at aura, when I do word searches for aura, aura and migraine come up a lot.
That's interesting.
Together,
well, one of the things I would say often about a migraine is that that is a blockage in part of the chakra system, but usually there's some minor chakras that go around the head that are connected to energy channels in the head. And so quite often if somebody has a migraine, then there is a blockage in one or more of those energy channels in the head. So I'm not sure why searching on Google for aura would bring up migraine, but I guess that would be the connection that that I might make to it.
Interesting. Of course, when you search aura colors, it comes up all the time, right? And things like that. But there's some other things that come up with regards to that. Aura colors. What else comes up? Yeah, migraine, stroke comes up. Ocular migraine.
I know why. Because when people have a migraine or a stroke, they sometimes get sort of visual perturbations and they start seeing colors. And so I think that is why. but it's possible to see energy without having a migraine. And I'm not sure that what's happening in somebody with a migraine is, necessarily the same thing. So let's talk a little bit about aura awareness, being aware of your own aura, being aware of your own energy field. And I'll try and give some everyday examples, because we've all experienced our energy field. So let's say, just think about this for a moment. Let's say you have an experience where a stranger is uncomfortably close to you, or where there's an uncomfortable distance between you and another person. There's a level of that interaction where you're actually being aware of your energy field. So let's say you walk into an elevator and the elevator is crowded. Everyone automatically in that situation, or at least most people, will have a tendency to suck their aura in so that they're not all overlapping their personal space, for example. Or just think about when you go for a walk out in nature. What most people will do is they will relax their aura, relax their energy field, and it will spread out around them. Another common thing, Corey does this one.
Oh,
if you're driving the car, a lot of people will just spread their aura to take up the whole space within the car, for example. Sometimes I meet therapists and who they will expand their aura to be the size of the room that they're working in, for example. And so we all have sort of these things that we do with our energy field, even though we might not consciously recognize it. And, there are different types of people as well. Somebody who likes to control the room and control the people and feel safe, they might spread that aura out so it encompasses the whole room and encompasses everyone in the room. Someone who's particularly sort of scared kind of a person might tend to shrink it in, and other people might just have it, 2 to 3 feet around them, depending. So you can start to be aware of your energy field like that. And some of the other things to be aware of is this. If you are somebody who expands your aura so that it encompasses other people, you will be experiencing the reality of the other person as well as your own reality, because you've overlapped your energy with that other person. So it can be confusing. And, we all have probably had the experience as well where, someone comes into the room and somehow it makes everybody shut up or be nervous or feel awkward. And it can be because that person's energy is spread out and you're experiencing that person engulfing you. And, another classic experience of this, like a lot of people who are very sensitive to energy find it very difficult to be in a crowd. They find it very difficult to be in a busy shopping center, for example. Well, most people are not really in charge of their energy. And so you go to those places, you're experiencing multiple people at once through your own energy field. And it feels uncomfortable. Why? Because your energy field is your personal private universe. And so the one who is meant to be your energy in your energy field. And so anytime that there's another energy in there, it doesn't necessarily feel fantastic. And this is one of the main things that I find I teach people about in my psychic development courses is how to own your own space, how to recognize your own energy, how to tell the difference between your own energy and someone else's energy, how to own your energy and your auric field. Because to be a really good clairvoyant, to be a really good psychic, you need a high vibration and clear energy field. Otherwise, it's going to be tainted with whatever is tainting or whatever is tainting your energy. Any comments or questions? Looks like you're waving at me.
Yes, I am. I got a.
Cool.
Yes, I am. I'm getting feedback though. I'm getting feedback from you there, Leslie. Okay, you got it? Okay, so I've got one from Kelly and one from Adam. Adam says, do any of your publications or do you know of any, whoops, it keeps popping around here. Do you know any with an accurate definition for the different natures of aura, such as your examples of state of mind and how it shows in the aura? Sort of a list of symptoms, he says. And I have one from Kelly. Kelly's got a question about a hurt shoulder, which maybe you can get to after this. And I have another question. I'm afraid I can't read the person's name, but they say, you look amazing and your aura fills the room.
Oh, thank you. Adam, so there is some information in my book about the aura and about the stuff that I'm talking about in tonight's show. There is another book which was written about 30 years ago by an energy healer called Barbara Ann Brennan, and it's called Hands of Light. And she's got these little diagrams in that book about what people do with their aura and what people do with their energy depending on different emotions. The closest I get to that is in my clairsentience course. I have a course on clairsentience, and in that course we really get into the nitty-gritty of what people do with their energy. What do people do with their energy when they're angry? Or what do people do with their energy when they're attracted to you? And so, you know, that's a 10-week course, and there's a, you know, quite a strong focus on owning your energy and understanding what you're doing with your energy and understanding what other people are doing with their energy as well. So I hope that answers your question. I steer clear too much of being prescriptive and saying, when this is happening, this is what it looks like, and when that is happening, that is what it looks like. I feel it's much better to develop your abilities and have your own observations, really. Because as soon as we have A equals B, then we're getting into our intellect, really. Hope that helps.
Helps me.
So I think you said that there was, I wrote Adam's question down and Kelly's question, but I think you
Yes, I have Kelly's question. Maybe we can do that after the break. And
Cool.
Kelly says, I have a hurt shoulder and I think it's fear-based, but I feel like I've been very aware and working through it and moving the energy and tuning with it. How can I know for sure, basically when the pain goes away, question mark.
Okay, so you're suggesting we do that after the break, are
Yes,
you?
let's do that after the break.
Okay. Listeners, you've been tuning in to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie and Corey, and tonight's show has been about the aura.
And a good show it is. Okay, Dr. Leslie, come on back.
Welcome back, listeners. You're tuning in to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie and Corey. Tonight's show topic is the aura, the human energy field, the multi-dimensional electromagnetic energy field that surrounds your body. And
Why do you smile? Why do you smile so much when you say that?
And that, and I don't know, and that is, oh, now you've thrown me off. What was I going to say, Corey? I don't know. Thanks.
You were introducing the show, and we were talking about electric aura field, electric fields of cloud and color that have people in quandaries all over the world.
I was just refreshing what we were saying about the auric field. That's an electromagnetic energy field that surrounds you, that emanates out beyond your body, that is a reflection of or a signature of you. It's like your personal energy signature. And whatever you're going through in your life, whether it's something you're going through on a physical level, mental level, emotional level, spiritual level, there is detailed information about that in your energy field. And that can be read, discerned by an experienced energy reader to reflect information back at you about what's going on in your life. And that can be a very helpful thing. And, you know, we were saying that aura, it's not static, it's always moving, it's constantly in motion, it's constantly in flux, it's responding to everything that's going on in your life. Let's make a simple example to illustrate that. Let's say today you're running a marathon. So you may be running bright red energy through the first layer of your aura. Let's say that you twist your ankle while you're running the marathon. You might then switch to a blue vibration through that layer of your energy field, because instead of running a marathon, you're now wanting to heal the ankle that you twisted. And when you think about it, we're shifting what we're doing with our energy all day long from 1 minute to the next. And your aura is shifting along with that. And we also interact with one another through our energy fields. We were talking about that before the break, how if your energy bubble and my energy bubble overlaps, we'll experience each other's reality. And that this can be it can be a cause of problems and struggles for people who get overwhelmed because they have someone else's disturbed energy in their space. I suppose the opposite experience can be possible as well, you know, when people are making love and they are in a very high vibrational state, then, you know, that can feel very good. But it's always a good idea to make separations from your lover, because, you know, otherwise then you're going to carry around anything else that's going on with them, really, once they go back to their normal everyday state. Okay, so we were going to answer Kelly's question about her shoulder, and she was saying that she felt like the shoulder was stiff because she was in a state of fear and that she was working on it. And the question was, how will I know when I've cleared the fear, when the pain will go away? It sounded like she answered her own question, really, but let's take a look. Well, I think it's fear, and I think it's specifically fear around limits around almost like your reach. And let's say metaphorically, what do we mean by reach? It's sort of like you're wanting to stretch yourself further. You're wanting to reach further. You're wanting to go beyond where you've gone before into some new arenas. And I'm seeing that the stiff shoulder is relating to cracking through those limits, basically. And so I think, you know, maybe there's some new things that you're wanting to do in your life. And this has come up as you move forward into those new things. we also have the flow of healing energy down our shoulders and arms, and our creative energy as well. And so I would also look at how you're creating and what you're creating, and whether, you know, there's some kind of block or barrier in your creative expression that's coming up. All right, well, I guess looks like Corey's very silent, so I guess there's no further questions from our listeners. So
well, no, there's a couple things. So here's one from Nicole. Nicole says, I have a question about auras. Do you need to develop clairvoyance to be able to actually see physically? I believe we all have the abilities within us, so how do you learn to see them? And then Kelly said, yes, you nailed it. Thank you.
Okay. Well, clairvoyance is the way that you would see an aura. Can you, but you can experience the aura in other ways. You can feel the energy of the auric field. Okay, so you can develop the use of your hands and your hand chakras as a healer, and you can sense the auric field in a felt sense, so that you can actually feel where somebody's energy field ends, so that you can feel where there are blockages in the energy, where there is stuck energy, and so that you can help them to clear that. So you can experience the aura in that way. You might not be seeing it, but you're still getting information about it. You can know. You can just know. You can just know that somebody's energy's out or in or doing this or that. So that's like your knowingness, your claircognizance. And so there are different ways of interacting with and experiencing the aura. It doesn't only have to be your clairvoyance. And I forget exactly what you said about Nicole's question, Corey.
Okay, Nicole says, I have a question about auras. Excuse me, about auras. Do you need to develop clairvoyance to be able to actually see auras physically? I believe we all have all of the abilities within us. So how do you learn to see them?
Okay. Now that's what I jumped onto, because she said to see physically. You're not seeing physically, you're seeing as spirit. When you develop your clairvoyance, you're seeing as spirit. It's not the same as seeing physically. And so, but if you wanted to see an aura, yes, you would develop your clairvoyance, because clairvoyance is a gift of clear seeing, the ability to see energy as spirit. And you're right, yeah, we do have all of those abilities within us, and we can all develop them. I hope that answers the question.
I hope so too. Let's see if she's commented for you. Nicole says, thank you.
Okay. So another way maybe that we can think of the aura is that it's ultimately a communication device. It's like wearing your feelings on your sleeve. It's like wearing everything about you as a garment around you. And so in a world, we can imagine a world where everybody was using their intuitive abilities. The aura would be the ultimate communication device, because everyone would be seen. It would not be possible to lie or be in denial, because it would be obvious to everybody and to you what was going on within you. And so just imagine that would be a very different, to be in an awakened society like that would be a very different experience, that we'd be able to appreciate, hopefully, each person in their uniqueness and their beauty. Unfortunately, right now, most people use only a fraction of their intuition. And so, and the limits of the, their ego and their intellect are the prevailing factors. And so what we have now is people projecting a false reality, covering up what's really going on by saying, well, no, this is what's going on. But if you have developed your psychic abilities, then you can see beyond the facade. And just, imagine a world where we'd all done that. There would be no facades. There could not be.
But some facades are good. I mean, auras are very, what's the word? They really tell the story. I mean, they open up the whole story. So if somebody's sick or if they're unhealthy, even dying, you can possibly see that. People can possibly see that on their auras. And it's not always a good thing to be able to look at that as well.
Why not?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I want my personal information or my personal feelings. I want to be able to tell somebody that there's something wrong. I don't want it just to be open up to the world.
Well, isn't that because there's some ego protections and a belief that the world isn't safe?
No, I think just privacy, a bit of privacy there. I'm playing devil's advocate here, Dr. Leslie.
But it's not an intellectual argument, is it? It's sort of like, well, if we were all awakened and we were all able to see clairvoyantly, we would all see each other as we are. And ultimately,
That's true.
I believe most humans want is to be seen and accepted as I am, I want to be seen and accepted as I am. I mean, that I feel is the great gift that a clairvoyant can give to their clients. That's to be able to observe somebody completely as they are, with no judgment whatsoever and with complete acceptance. I don't think anyone would mind being seen if they were being seen with through the eyes of love and acceptance.
That's true. I mean, if we're all on the same page, that would be very different. That's true. So just out of curiosity, for those people who are just beginners in the process, what colors of aura should they, I don't want to use the term be leery of, but look at, be leery of, and also what are colors that would be negative that they should take note of?
So I would say, rather than it being a specific color, I would say it's the quality of the color. So if the energy, let's just take any color, red. If it's bright, like a high, bright, vibrant red, and the energy is in motion, then that is healthy, movement is occurring, and maybe that sort of enthusiasm or passion or life force energy, depending on where you're reading it. And then let's take red, which is really dark and has a hint of sort of I don't know, black and doomy gloominess in it, and maybe it's not moving as vibrantly and rapidly. That could be this person is angry, this person is frustrated, this person is in denial of their anger, they're pushing it down, or it can be, it can have a different meaning. And we're reading red in both cases, but it's the quality and tonality of the red that matters in a sense.
So I've got a couple of things that Kelly says. It's difficult to navigate the world when you are awakening and you're surrounded by the facade. And also George says, have you ever looked at the biopulsar? The biopulsar, similar devices, or a print? Is it any similar to what you see with your ability?
So thanks for that question, George. And I see that George did post on the website that he had a reading like that done. Corey, are you just telling me that I have to wrap up? Oh, okay. So we've got 2 minutes left in the show. Probably not long enough to go into a discussion of George's question. I think I steer clear of being too prescriptive. So some of those machines and those aura photographs in the past were very prescriptive, you know, and a person would say, oh, it's green and it means this about you, or it's blue and it means you're a healer. And blue can mean many things. You know, it depends on the person and the circumstances. But you know, I would say because I read the aura directly with my clairvoyance, I've never really had a calling to use a machine to do it. But I think it is possible for us to develop devices that can sense energy and energy fields. So it should be possible to record it in an accurate way. But I honestly don't really know, George. So I hope that helps answer that question. Listeners, you've been tuning in to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie and with Corey. And tonight's show, we were talking about the aura. If you're interested in any more what I have to say about the aura, then I would definitely recommend picking up a copy of Intuition and Chakras. There's an entire chapter about the aura, and the whole book is about the chakras. And remember, we said earlier in the show that the auric field emanates from the chakras, so they relate very closely together. And you know, your intuition is channeled through the chakra system as well. So pick up a copy of the book if you haven't done already. And unfortunately, it's time for us to say goodbye.
Yes, it is. Thank you all for showing up this week and
see you
for
next
your
week.
input. Yeah, take care.
Bye.